Today we're going to be looking at how you can update your student list on Mangahigh for the new academic year. So how you can take your students from the class that they were previously in on Mangahigh and move them to their new class for the new academic year, whilst maintaining their user ID, their password, and all of their activity history that they have completed to date. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is create a spreadsheet listing out your students and their classes for this academic year. So the essential bits of information are first name, last name, and class name. You'll also see when we go through the upload process that there are some additional bits of information that you can include on your upload if you'd like to. If you would like to list your students in multiple classes, you can do so by adding another column called class name here. And let's say we're running a lunch club that some of our students are involved in, and we want to have a class called lunch club. But only a few of the students are involved in that, so let's pop that there. This will mean that when we process the upload, David will get placed into a class called 7x1 and also into a class called lunch club. But Mohammed will just get placed into 7x1. You can also choose to specify a user ID and a password. So if I've got a user ID that perhaps David uses for other systems at school that he's already familiar with, we can choose to include that on our upload there. But for today, we are just going to be focusing on the basic upload here. So first name, last name, and class name. You actually don't need a header row in your spreadsheet, so let's go ahead and delete that and save our document. Then what we're going to do is we're going to head into Mangahigh and go to the admin page just here. And you can see here I've got my student list displayed from last year's class assignments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the little plus icon here and then click on bulk upload tool down here. What that is going to ask me to do is upload my file. So let's go ahead and do that. And then import new roster. The next thing that the system wants to know is what piece of information is contained in these columns. So let's say this one is first name, this one is last name, this is class. And if you'd had any of those extra bits of information that we were just talking about, for example, the second class name, you could just go ahead and select those for any extra columns that you might have. So now let's import all students. And this is telling me that on my student list before, I had 200 students and my new list has 203 students. So it looks like I've got a couple new joiners for this year. The size of my school has slightly increased. So let's start the update wizard. Now the next thing that you're going to want to do is tell the system whether what you're doing is adding a class or updating your whole school. And because we're doing this for the start of the new academic year, we actually want to select full student roster because we're actually updating our whole school. And what this will do is it will compare your old list to the new list that you are uploading. Any students that are not on the new list that you are uploading but were on the original list will be deleted. That's presumably students that have left your school. And any students who are on your new list but were not on your original list, presumably the joiners to your school, and a new account will be created for them. So for the start of a new academic year, you want to select full student roster. If at some point in the future you want to add just one new class to your account, so you don't want to disturb the rest of your roster, you would select partial student roster. But for today we're selecting full student roster, so let's go ahead and start update wizard. And then continue update wizard. Now, what you can see is that it's divided it into several tabs here. So let's go through these one by one and explain what's happening. Now, I would always highly recommend hopping into the manual match tab first and having a look at any issues that it's picked up there. So what's going on here? So on the left, we have the old records section. So this is any pre-existing accounts that, your pre-existing Mangahigh accounts, what was already on your account prior to uploading this new list. And on the right, you have the students that were on your spreadsheet. So the new spreadsheet that you were uploading. So what's happening here? We've got 3 Wendy Jones. So we had Wendy Jones and she was in 8x1 last year. So presumably she'll be moving up to 9x1 or a year 9 class. So we can see that we have 9x1 here, but we also have Wendy Jones in 7x1. So this would suggest that we actually have a brand new student also with the name Wendy Jones, and she's starting in year 7. So what we want to tell the system is that this original Wendy Jones needs to be matched to the record that's going into year 9, and we want to create a brand new account for Wendy Jones in year 7, our new joiner. So how do we do that? So we are going to drag this down to here and drag this down to here. And what we're doing here is telling the system to pair up those 2 accounts. So this Wendy Jones will be moved into 9x1 once the upload is completed. Now, our new joiner, who also has the same name but is a different student, we're going to say, actually, we want a brand new account for her. So let's drag her down to joiner. Okay, great. So we've sorted out all our manual matches. Now let's hop back. So we have nothing in perfect match and nothing in unique identifier match, so we don't need to worry about those. Name match, this should be pretty much all good to go. This is just saying the system has matched the students by name and it is going to move them from their old class into their new class. Let's hop into fuzzy match and have a look at what's happening here. Fuzzy match will look at differences in the student's name. So if it finds names with similarities, it will ask you, what should I do with these accounts? Are they actually the same student or are they 2 separate students? So you need to take action on the accounts that have been placed in fuzzy match. So let's have a look at this. So presumably my year 11 students from last year are now leaving the school. So what the system has actually done is said, I found some names with similarities. Is this actually the same student? But scanning down this list, all of these are year 11 students and all of these are year 7 students. So, we can say, actually, no, these are not the same students. So I'm going to break the link between them. And those were all low quality matches. Now let's have a look up in our medium quality. So we had a student called Michael Coles in year 11, and it's a medium quality match because the name is actually quite similar. So, but even so, it was a year 11 student and this is a new joiner. So again, we break that link and we say, actually, no, these are 2 separate students. I don't want you to merge this account into this account. In high quality matches, let's have a look at what's happening here. So we had a student called Peter Donovan in 10x2, and actually Peter on our new student list is listed as Pete rather than Peter. So this is the same student. So we want to say to the system, yes, Peter Donovan, who was in 10x2, is the same student as Peter Donovan, who is going to be moving to 11x2. So we keep that linked. We don't break that link. So let's confirm all that. And we now see, as expected, we just have 1 in fuzzy match. The next tab along is leavers. So scrolling down this list, we see lots of 11s. So this is all of our year 11 students who are leaving. And we might have 1 or 2 other students who have also left the school. Joiners, very similar thing. So this will be all our brand new year 7 students, perhaps 1 or 2 new joiners in other year groups. And that's all fine. Now we go back into manual match. And what we need to say here is that these students in the old records actually they are leavers. So we're just going to drag them down and tell the system that we don't need to keep their accounts. They're all students who've left. And then same again on the right, we want to tell this system, these are all brand new joiners. I would like a Mangahigh account for them. So let's go ahead and do that. And then you will see all of them listed down below here. So now we're pretty much all done. So let's confirm matches in this category and then click on I'm done. So you might see this saving screen for a minute or two, and then we can click to return to admin screen. And what we will now find when the page loads is that all of our students have been moved from their old class to their new class, maintaining their user ID and password and all of the points they've already earned, all of the activity history that they've already completed in the past. Now, if we want to, we could download a list of all of the login details at our school if we want to redistribute these to students. Go over to the three dots over here, and then you can download all logins, which will give you a spreadsheet, or print all logins, which will give you a PDF that you can chop up and distribute to your students. You can also get this information by clicking on the class and then either printing or downloading, and that's how you would do it on a per class basis. If you have any questions or would like any help at all getting your student list updated for the new academic year, please do let us know. We're available via email at support@mangahigh.com. If you'd like us to upload your list on your behalf, we're more than happy to do that. Just send us over an email with your Excel sheet and we will get that processed for you. We're also available via in-app chat. So if you come down to the question mark here, I can start a new conversation. And one of the team will get back to you as soon as possible. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, please do let us know.